What's up guys, Hector here with a review of the Babymetal Live at Budokan Blu-ray. And actually the name is Babymetal Live at Budokan Red Night Legend Corset Festival Extra Black Night Legend Doomsday Apocalypse. So it has an extremely long name, and it's named after the two concerts that took place on this Blu-ray, because there are two concerts, both took place at Budokan, hence the name and all that stuff like that. But they only took place just one day apart, and it was at March 1st, 2014 and then March 2nd, 2014. So it was just about a year ago when they did this, when they did both of the concerts. But they didn't finish editing and, putting the Blu-ray together until about January of this year, 2015. So this Blu-ray came out, and the DVD, of course, Blu-ray DVD came out just about 2 months ago. But I barely got around to doing this. I kind of wanted to do it earlier, but I wanted to do reviews on Legend IDZ and Legend 1999-1997 first. So if you haven't seen on my channel, I already have reviews up for those ones. I wanted to do a review with clips, including sound clips and musical clips and stuff like that. And I did it on the very first Blu-ray, which was Legend IDZ, but it got hit with the copyright strike, so I had to split it up into two videos, one that had musical clips, one that didn't. I tried to do the same with Legend 1999-1997, but the one with musical clips was just blocked worldwide automatically. It wasn't even just hit with a copyright strike, it was just blocked. So I'm not going to be doing two reviews or something like that. I'm going to try to put as many clips on this without sound as possible, so hopefully it's going to be good enough. Alright, so as I said, there are two concerts in this Blu-ray, and first let me talk about the technical specs. This is what I usually do. The Blu-ray is approximately 172 minutes long. The video is MPEG 4 AVC audio, or video codec, and it's 1920 by 1080, so 1080p resolution and all that stuff. 24 frames per second, which is fine. A lot of movies are in 24 frames per second. 16 by 9 aspect ratio, because I already said the resolution. Of course it's in color, but for some reason they want to keep including that. And the audio is stereo, linear, PCM, 48 kilohertz, 24-bit. And that is still bugging me. I don't know if it bugs anybody else, but this is a Blu-ray. Maybe it's understandable on a CD, maybe even a DVD, but on Blu-ray, why don't they have multi-channel? At least 5.1, maybe 7.1, Dolby, DTS, something. But 2-channel audio, whatever. The audio is still pretty good. And actually, the audio in this particular Blu-ray, well, the audio setup, I should say, at Budokan is pretty interesting, because in the past concerts, a lot of times there would be music playing over the speakers, and then the main singer, Sumetal, she would just be singing. I'm pretty sure she was singing, but the backup singers, mostly dancers, which are Yui Metal and Moa Metal, they usually lip-synced and did most of the dancing. And they didn't always have a live band. Sometimes there would be a live band in some songs, and then in one of the concerts there wasn't a live band at all. But in Live at Budokan, the live band, which is called the Kami Band, they're there through the entire performance on both nights. And there's, I'm going to say, virtually no lip syncing at all in any of the songs. I say virtually because there are some parts of certain songs where it's obvious that they're not singing it, because like the voice changes dramatically, or like when Sumetal, there's a part where she's supposedly screaming into the mic or whatever at the beginning of I think it's Doki Doki Morning and Iine. She is obviously not screaming that. If you have heard those songs, it's like a guy screaming into the mic, and it's not her. And then in a few other songs, like the voice just changes to like a kind of a whisper, but it's kind of slightly altered voice alteration. I'm not sure how to explain it, but it's obviously not the person singing. So when those parts happen, they're not singing. And the band is playing for the parts that they can play. There's 2 guitars, a bass, 2, guitars, electric guitars, and then a bass guitar, and then the drummer. So there's those 4 band members. But in some songs, there's, like techno and keyboard going on. So since there's not a person like that on stage, that sound is just played over the speakers. So, you can tell the difference sometimes, or most of the time, between what's going on in the, live performance and what's being played over the speakers. And usually in the past concerts, you can really hear the crowd going crazy because, like, the stage is right here and the crowd's, like, right here. And so, the crowd's super loud. But at Budokan, it's this huge stage, and then there's a little barrier, and then the crowd is all around the edge. And I guess, the sound system, I was going to say stereo system, the sound system is just so confined to those people's voices, the singers and then the band, that you can't really hear the crowd. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's supposed to be a live Blu-ray, so some people might want to hear the crowd, but it is what it is, I guess. But speaking of the whole concert hall, the venue, I guess you can say, it's like stands and seats all up, a few levels high. And so those people are just sitting, but then on the ground floor, there's a very small section where people are standing. So there's not much room to, be active, and you can't really do any mosh pits or anything. But they try to, like, a small handful of people try to do, like, some mosh pit in the second concert, and the camera kind of went to them for, a few seconds, but that was it. So it was kind of, it was a bit sad to see that there wasn't as much activity like in Legend 1997. That one with a huge field of people, that one was the most active crowd I've ever seen in any of the Babymetal concerts. And because there isn't really any lip syncing, and they're actually singing, including the 2 backup dancers, I kind of mentioned this in a video I made a while ago. I think I put it on my other channel. I should probably put it on this channel, I'm not sure. Anyways, when Babymetal first came out and I noticed that they're like lip syncing and stuff like that, well, the 2 younger ones, not the main singer, because the main singer is mostly standing still. She does a little dancing and actions and stuff from time to time, but she's mostly pretty still. But the other 2 girls, they're doing high energetic dance routines and stuff like that. So I said it was okay for them to lip sync, because if they were trying to sing while doing all that, their voices would be bouncing up and down and everything. Well, they try to sing and dance in these 2 concerts, and it didn't go over too well. Their voices did bounce up and down, and in some parts you can tell that they were out of breath, but they were still trying to sing and dance, especially in the songs that were just theirs, which was Onedari Daisakusen and song number 4. And so it's just them, there's no Su metal at all. But, the performance was still pretty decent, especially since the Kami band was there, all live performance. So that kind of helped back them up a little bit. Oh yeah, and then of course, as I said, the Kami band is there for all the performances, and they do a pretty good job of playing the songs how they're supposed to sound, but they do a few tweaks here and there, so it's not exactly the same sound as you might hear on the album, the Babymetal album. But at the beginning of the song Catch Me If You Can, they do like an extended intro where it's just the band, and they even take center stage, because there's pretty much a center stage like this that also kind of rotates, and then the center part of the center stage goes up and down if they want to, and then there's 4 smaller stages on the outside. Anyways, the band is usually situated in the back. Well, it would be in the back if you're looking this way, and then the girls are usually in the middle. So the band actually goes into the center stage to play their instruments during the beginning of Catch Me If You Can. And then after their little introduction, I guess you can say, the girls come in and then sing the song, and they go back to their spots. And also, I don't want to say it's in the beginning of this other song, because there's a song that's available on the album, but this is the first time they played it at any concerts on any of the Blu-rays, and it's called Rondo of Nightmare. I'm not sure the Japanese name, but at the beginning of the song in both concerts, the Kami band comes out again, takes center stage, and plays this little kind of a song just by themselves with no the girls aren't there singing at all. And at first I thought it was just an extended intro or whatever for that song, just like Catch Me If You Can. But other than that part, it doesn't really connect with the song. And, you know, they don't play a little intro and then immediately go into the song. They play the intro, stop, and then go into the song. And then I find out that in the live, I think it was Babymetal live at Budokan Black Night, which they only sold in limited editions physically in Japan, they actually put that as its own track, and it's called like Mischief of Metal Gods or something like that. And so I guess that's its own song, and it's a really good song. You can look it up on Dailymotion, because I tried to look it up on YouTube, but you can't really find that many great Babymetal clips on YouTube. They usually get striked and taken down and all that stuff. But so yeah, that's a great song, and it is available on that CD, which you probably can't get because it was only in Japan in limited editions and stuff, which is really stupid because this is a worldwide band now, but they still have limited editions in Japan. They do have a Red Night live CD, but it doesn't have any of those songs. It doesn't have the Mischiefs of Metal Gods or whatever. And in Black Night, they also have my favorite song, which was a metal ballad, and it's called No Rain, No Rainbow. But still, even on the Black Night CD, they don't include No Rain, No Rainbow, which is unfortunate, I guess you can say. Well, I would like it on a CD, but again, I wouldn't really like it in the live performance. I want it, full, studio made up or whatever. I want that version on the next Babymetal CD is what I'm saying. I don't really care about it being in the live audience and all that junk. But it still isn't, so I guess we're just going to have to wait. And as I said, well, I don't think I said, I don't know. The first concert has 13 songs, all of which have been performed before, except for Rondo of Nightmare, and then the extended Catch Me If You Can opening, and then that Mischief of Metal Gods, which doesn't come up on the track listing, because at the main menu, you can choose chapters and then just choose a song, and then it also comes up as a pop-up menu while you're actually playing the concert. But the Mischief of Metal Gods part doesn't come up on the track listing at all, or in the chapters. And then on the second night, which is Black Night, there's 15 songs, and the only 2 extra songs are Answer for Animation with You, which is available on CD, like a single. It's a single, but there's like 4 songs, I guess, on that CD. I don't know, it's weird to explain, but you can also get it on iTunes and on Amazon if you want to get that CD, so you don't actually have to buy the physical copy. And so there's Answer for Animation with You, and then there's No Rain, No Rainbow, as I mentioned before. But all the rest of the songs are the same, but the lineup is slightly changed. So, you might be kind of upset that they're basically the same songs at the exact same venue or whatever. But it is a really good concert. And, with the band there the whole time, and then there's virtually no lip syncing, it is definitely my favorite Blu-ray and my favorite concert performances from Babymetal. But I always wondered what would happen, if something bad took place during the concert when they're filming, would they they can't refilm it, and would they just cut it out or something? And then apparently something bad did happen in the very first concert and Babymetal live at Budokan Red Night. I'm not sure if any of you know this. Some people might know if you're really hardcore Babymetal fans. But apparently during one of the songs, I think it was Headbanger, Su-Metal is singing in the center stage, and Yui Metal and Moa Metal are on the outsides, and they're supposed to kind of pander to the crowd and then go from one smaller stage to the other stage and then back to the main stage. Well, during that part, Yui Metal apparently fell in one of the little pits and hurt herself or something. So she was out for the rest of that song, and it didn't even show what happened. It showed her for the first part, and she was pandering to the crowd and everything. and then it just didn't show her at all, and she just disappeared for the rest of that song. But they had to finish the song, you know, the show must go on. So Moa Metal just went back to the center stage with Su Metal, and Yui Metal was just getting taken care of, I guess. But usually, if you've seen their performances, Su Metal is usually in the middle of the stage, and then Yui Metal is on one side and Moa Metal is on the other, so they kind of balance each other out when they're doing their dance routines. But since it was only Moa Metal with Su Metal, then they kind of changed camera angles to go to the side instead of straight forward, because it kind of would look unbalanced. And so it looked a little better with the camera angle going to the side, and it just kind of looked like two people dancing, a two-person dance routine instead of three with one person missing. But luckily, Yui Metal did come back in the next song, in the beginning of the next song, which happened to be the last song, which was Ijime Dame Zettai. And, you know, she was pretty much fine, and then she, of course, played for the entire concert in the second day. But, you know, she seemed fine, but some of the news reports that I kind of read, I think it said that she hurt her arm, or elbow, or shoulder, I'm not entirely sure. So as I said earlier, these two concerts took place in March of 2014, which was just before Babymetal went on their world tour. And so at the end of the second concert, they did this kind of video package type thingy showing all the past concerts of Babymetal, and then they kind of did a send-off, if you will, where the two girls came back to the stage dressed in a totally weird, different attire that I don't think they ever wore before or after since that one time. And then so the, you know, narrator or announcer, or whatever you want to call, she, you know, explains what's going on, and she names each singer, and then they go into like this red coffin or whatever, and then the coffins just ascend into the ceiling, and then there's another small video package, and that's the end of the concert. And it was actually pretty cool. Well, you know, I'm not saying that theatrics is pretty cool. You know, some people might like it, some people might not, because, you know, Babymetal has their own kind of story to them, to the band, and that's, you know, kind of fun and all that. But what kept in my mind was the music, to, you know, behind the theatrics, I guess you can say. And, you know, in the past Babymetal concerts, they've had kind of small animations in between select songs where it kind of showed some history or origin of Babymetal, the band, you know, the fake story, not the real story. And they would show these animated images, but they weren't, you know, live animation. It was just a still image, and then the camera would go over it, and then some music would play. And sometimes the music was pretty good, and then it would just roll into the song. And I kind of wondered, you know, it would be kind of cool if they released a CD just with those backup songs. And then the song that played during that whole narration where they, you know, left was pretty awesome. And I think they played it in the promo, I guess you can say, the commercial for Live at Budokan Blu-ray and DVD on the official Babymetal website, or Babymetal YouTube channel. So if you're curious about that, you can go check that out. And I guess that's pretty much all there is to say about the Babymetal Live at Budokan Blu-ray. And, well, as I said earlier, this is definitely my favorite Blu-ray performance, solely based on the performances, because there's virtually no lip syncing, and the Kami band is there the entire time, and they're just rocking out. And, you know, and the camera quality and lighting and all that stuff is really great, because some of the past concerts had pretty bad lighting, and the camera quality was really, you know, muddled or muddy or whatever you want to call it. But this one is pretty great. The only thing that I didn't really like is how you couldn't hear the live audience as much as some of the past Blu-rays, and then the audience couldn't be very active because it was such a small space. So Legend 1997, that concert was terrific because the crowd was crazy into it, and you could hear the crowd and all that. And Also, there's a little bit more theatrics with the songs in those ones, like when she got, crucified and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool. But again, if you're just, interested in music, not all that theatrics, then this Blu-ray is definitely for you. And before, I was kind of hesitant to recommend the Blu-rays to fans because they're so expensive, and then there's, just all that backup singing, lip syncing, and then there wasn't really a live band. But this one, I don't feel too bad or hesitant, I guess you can say, to recommend this to any Babymetal fan. If you're just a regular fan, if you're a hardcore fan, doesn't matter. This one, I recommend, I say you should pick it up because the performances are just great. But still, the prices are really high. And I will leave links in the description along with the track listing. I'll leave links to the Amazon page for the Blu-ray or the DVD, and even the CD for Red Night if you want to buy it. And then you can just pick it up off there, and then they'll send it to you. Amazon will send it to you, I guess. But I guess that's it, So if you're still not 100% sure, you can look up clips. Since I can't put all the clips up, YouTube will just strike my account down or whatever. If you're still interested, I'd recommend going to like Dailymotion and checking out some of the clips, because definitely check out the what was it, Mischief of Metal Gods and No Rain No Rainbow. That's definitely my favorite song. And from there, if you really like it, then pick up the Blu-ray because the quality would be 10 times better than what you see on Dailymotion. And that's it. So if you like my review, you can give this video a thumbs up. And definitely subscribe if you want to see more Japanese product reviews. Doesn't have to be Babymetal, but it might be, because there's one more Blu-ray coming out that was announced. I think it was at Loud Park, the Blu-ray performance there, or it might be several performances in Europe. I'm not 100% sure. But again, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to even buy them, because these things are getting expensive and I don't really have the money to dish out. But if you haven't seen my reviews on the other Babymetal Blu-rays, or even the Babymetal merchandise, I did reviews on the t-shirts that are available in the US store and the wristband. So check out my videos that are already up, because there might be more Babymetal stuff that you're interested in. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more stuff like that, I guess. And that's it. So